howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Definitely a thumbs up. It is raining and wet outside. Yay! I haven't had a whole ton of stuff going on in my life, largely just because of the weather and just the way things have been feeling, but things have been feeling a whole lot better. I'm waving my arms in the air once again like I just don't care. And while I actually do care, I'm not actually hurting right now. I'm going to take it careful and easier so that I don't end up hurting myself. But when I haven't been recording and stuff, I've been being as careful as possible. So my nerve compression issues are doing better. Yay, definitely a thumbs up. Oh boy, there's a couple things. Number one is I have turned into the jerk neighbor. Twice my next door neighbor has had to talk to me about noise. Once because I was playing stuff too loud at night, I wasn't paying attention. And then this morning I was talking to my sister outside. The windows are thin. I woke the guy up by talking to my sister. I've been the jerk neighbor and I hate that, so I'm gonna apologize hard to the fellow and just do my damnedest to do better. Thumbs up. But part of that, unfortunately, is I mentioned how I've been taking this new blood pressure med. I am leaping out of bed when I wake up in the morning. And I am fully dressed and active in less than an hour, which again for me is fast since I move slow because of chronic pain issues and all that. So I am energized with this new blood pressure med, and there is nothing about that in the side effects list, which I looked up. Of course, like any med, scary stuff, but you know, everything has side effects, and some people take aspirin and then die. So it all depends on your bodily chemistry as well. But just looking through all of that, and then saw the bottom of the symptoms list, and the bottom of the symptoms list was anorexia. I've been anorexic as an adult human man. I have suffered from an eating disorder. I've been anorexic. And it sucks. It is a horrible mental place to be. Except, I do need to lose some weight. I have gone from 165 pounds, which was way too little, slowly edging up to my current probably about 220, 225-ish. So I do need to lose weight. Maybe I could have just a little anorexia, just a little eating disorder as a treat. And then hopefully be able to rein it in once I've gotten to the weight that I want. It's not that hard. It's a mental point for me, even without meds, that if I can reach that point, I will willingly starve myself. So, yeah. Here it's just there's a med giving me a push in that direction. So, yay. I mean, already I've gone from eating a fair amount to maybe eating just half a bag of corn chips. And that's it for the day. You know, and a bag of corn chips is like, what, 8 ounces? So, it ain't much, and I'm already doing that, so, yay. Now I'm even further. I've been able to talk myself out of, oh, I'm going to eat this. Nah, I'm just bored. And then stop. I haven't been able to always do that, but now I am. So, yay. Still, I do need to lose weight. I mean, quite seriously, 200 is too much for me. I want to get back down to around 160 is bad. I look like I'm a victim out of a concentration camp. Literally, I mean, I am skeletal and gaunt. I do not look healthy. About 170, 175-ish, right around in there, I look good. And so that's what I want. And so, yeah, maybe a little anorexia is a treat. Still, I'm glad my blood pressure is down. That part's nice. Yay. And on the whole talking with my hands thing, I have talked with my hands my whole life. I've done stage acting. That part was difficult and easy for me. Difficult because I'm extra active. I don't just do the hand wavings. When I'm sitting down and I talk about, I go like, oh, I went to the store, and then I grabbed that thing off the shelf, put it in my basket, and then I went up and I paid for it. Yeah, I just talked with my hands doing that. If I'm standing up and telling this story, I'm going to turn to the side. I'll take a half step, reach forward to the imaginary thing, lift it up with a little bit of weight for it because it's probably heavy, and then pantomime putting it there, and then turning back to where I was. I do full body talk with my body when I'm going into a story. So, yeah. But that, largely, some people do, some people don't. It all depends. We all are in gradients upon that. I just happen to be more toward the histrionic side of the gradient. I have long been a drama queen. As a gender-free term. There is a gender-free term, I just can't remember what it is, but still. You know what I mean when I say that, so thumbs up. Past that, just thinking of things and trying to do things and looking at stuff. I've been on the print and play arcade last night, being horrified by stuff. Because at the print and play arcade, they do not sell a physical product at all. It's print and play. It's in the name. They give you the PDF file. It's up to you. Some of those games with the professionally designed and colored, like 174 cards that you have for this stack and all of your tokens and then your boards that you put the stuff on. It's like, yeah, it costs you $6, but you better have the 120 to print it out. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to play it. So, there's a lot of good stuff on Print and Play Arcade. I've gotten stuff off Print and Play Arcade. They have a sort of logic puzzle type adventure thing. They had a fantasy theme for it where you're going through mazes in dungeons. And then they turned it into a science fiction theme where you're going through various science fiction themes. And now they've been doing an Overland Adventures on the dungeon one. But on the science fiction one, just like they did for the dungeon one, every week they mail you a new game. But what that is they give you 16 pages of rules. And then they give you, from that point on, a page, double set page that has a character and all of the maps on it. And then you can play those maps with that character, or those maps with a different character, this character with different maps. So you can mix and match characters and scenarios, but you get one of those every week. And so you're going to get 52 of those on top of the original set you buy. On the dungeon side, for $20, you can get the last year's all dungeon things. I haven't done that. But I did sign up for the monthly Overland Adventure things. Once a month, they send me the Overland Adventures character and dungeon things there. They're simple but complex because you fill in areas on the tiny little mazes. And then you can make a move based off of anywhere that you filled in. I guess if you're assumed to be an actual character on that map piece, in that move you can go anywhere. And then you go just open up one of the squares that's next to those areas. And then there's puzzles, there's traps, there's monsters, you have quests, you have hit points, it's not bad. Like I say, it's not a role-playing thing. It's a puzzle adventure type thing, but they're kind of fun. They're cool. Definitely a thumbs up. So I just thought I'd mention that those are out there. Print and Play Arcade. Go check it out. If you like simple stuff, they have a lot of roll and write types, where I've showed the Doom Realm on the channel, where it's you're trying to move just in that fashion, you know, you can go off anywhere that you've been, but in Doom Realm you have specific shapes, so you got to fit it into where you've been on the maze of the map, making it part of the puzzle. Yay! And then, of course, down here I've got, well, in fact, here's the Doom Realm. But I've got all sorts of things printed out that I want to play for me and I want to play for the channel. There's Miru and Miru 2, both of which I can do digitally using Canva, PDF readers, and online dice rollers. And I want to show things like these off as well as play them for myself. And even though I don't have the book over here, I was looking up online to see what people had done for game books like Fabled Lands and how they had done it. I've only found like 2 people on the search, you know, Fabled Lands playthrough. 2 people. And so largely, and especially this one set of people, they did like 2 people, I guess their husband and wife or some such, or brother and sister, who can say. But they had a multiple series run for Fabled Lands. But all they had was stats for the character sheet at the bottom of their screen, some other the character info over here, some stats here, block of stats here. They had the dice roller here. They had them here, and then it was just background for the rest of it. And they just did readings, rollings of dice, and then that was largely it for what they did to show people stuff. So I've got the canvas thing all set up with the character sheets and ships and houses and for keywords for the first book. So I'm going to try doing reading. I have a thing in Canva just for writing down notes, like, you know, write down the number you came from and then the numbers that I can go to. So that way I can track back if I go to a wrong number. A very important thing to do. But past that, yeah, just try doing the readings, and hopefully if you watched yesterday that you enjoyed the reading of the first book that I did, because I read a couple paragraphs and I tried to be dramatic. So thumbs up for that. There'll be a lot of reading, and more than anything else, because I want to make it very dramatic, but of course choices made and dice rolled and combats had, encountered, treasures looted, and sneaky spots hopefully snuck out of. Just the first book though, and then when I've got the other books in there with their keywords and such, then I can start going from one book to another, because they give you links within them to enter to a different book. One of the people that wrote this book also wrote a different book called Dragon Warriors, and it's an RPG system, and apparently they're making another RPG system. I don't know how old this fellow is, but the books were, these Fabled Lands were like in the 90s, and a lot of this stuff has been from older times, so hopefully it's good. Dragon Warriors looks interesting, but you kind of make up a character in the same way you make up a character in Fabled Lands, and not in so much you're rolling dice, but you're going, this is my character, these are what the stats are, let's write these down. Now for other games that do that, where you're having to write down the stats, a bit of randomness was the word. I was trying to think of procedural, but the word is randomness. A bit of randomness is put in for various stats when you roll a die for your character's class, and then there are a couple different sets of stats for each character. Ooh, gotta put that arm down, getting sparkly back there. Ay, ay, ay. But on my fictional stuff, I've been thinking on various other things, still thinking of just the setting itself being, of course, the multiverse written small is the conjoined universe setting with all of the vast energies, which again, for the setting, it is extra universal energies that pour into the configuration of a universe as it passes outward from the center of the singularity, as it passes outward and reaches through this threshold space. It goes through inflation into a full mature universe. These configurations are just formed around the singularity. Without energies, you just have extra universal energies. You just have endless cycling over and over of the same universes, different configurations, a fully astronomical set of them, but a finite number. Add the extra universal energies, you change the configurations. They become strange and bizarre universes. But most of these universes in the multiverse, as they're being created, have the equivalent of about a thimbleful of these extra universal energies to alter them and make them different. Some of the really wild ones have like the equivalent of a bucket of this energy that changed the universe. The conjoined universe that I speak of had the equivalent of 10 Olympic-sized swimming pools poured into it. And of course, when you stare into the abyss also stares into you. This is just another way of saying we don't live in a vacuum. You are altered by things that you look at, and things are altered by things that look at you. As the energy poured into the configuration, it of course changed the configuration, which as the configuration changed the funnel of the energy pouring into that universe, which of course changed the configuration, which changes the funnel, which changes the configuration. By the time it's all done, because it's a multiverse, it wasn't the only one. But of all of the various of all the variations of this type of setting, only one of them had just a positive outcome. All the rest were neutral positive, or neutral neutral, or neutral negative, or negative. Only one, the one that I write about, was positive positive. Now, where was I going from all this? Oh yeah, still talking about the settings and everything that's going on in them. So this small with the conjoined universe in it is the multiverse written small, because it has so much energy on the inside, and on the razor's edge there is so much they're almost infinite within themselves. Within these settings, within the razor's edge, there is Marbden and Undermarb. Undermarb is the multiverse written even smaller. It is an infinite dungeon with infinite variation, and it will always be infinite through time, just as the multiverse is. But I was also thinking, because on a cosmic horror sense, of course, it's the objects, beings, locations, or situations that we can't understand existing in a fashion that we cannot know without regard for human health or safety. You can have that in anything. One of the settings I considered there are 5 stages to it. The first stage is the one we're in now. The second stage, things are starting to happen. And while it's wild and weird and getting wilder and weirder by the time it goes on, by the time you hit the end of this second stage and into the third, things are starting to break down. And by the end of the second stage and the beginning of the third, civilization, governments are falling. Civilization is collapsing. Nations are falling. States are collapsing. You have settlements and towns beset by just not anything that's evil, just different. And then, of course, at the end of the 4th stage and the beginning of the 5th, there ain't no more people. So the second stage, where it begins, all the way up to the fifth stage, that's a whole bunch of novels and video games and books and all sorts of stuff. All on a cosmic horror, something happened, and then it takes like 150 years from the beginning of stage 2, when things start, to the beginning of stage 5, when we're all gone. But I've also got the idea of a cosmic horror type thing, where I've mentioned that there's various stories and various settings, and I even had a setting myself where it's bigger on the inside, and the deeper you go, the bigger it gets. I want to make a game, only I don't know how I would do it, even with Unreal Engine 5, where it starts off, you just walk into a small house. You know, maybe second floor, but it's small, and there's a first floor, and you can explore it, and it's not much, but when you go upstairs, and then you come back down, that's when you notice there's another door. And then you go through it, now the house is twice as big, only you came in through the front door. You know how big the house is. It can't be twice as big as you saw from the outside, but now it is. There's more space. And then when you hit that trigger, it opens up another space that it just keeps getting bigger. You can't get out anymore. You are effectively dead to the rest of the world. Once that front door shut and you left that room, you're gone. You're not going to die horribly. There's food, there's electricity, there's entertainment. But you're never going to leave. And the more you look, the bigger it gets. I don't know how you would do that. But it's also a bunch of stories that I'd like to do. So, this house is also the multiverse written small, except extremely small, in that if you are exploring in an attic area, the attic keeps getting bigger. If you're in the stairs keep getting bigger and bigger. If you're in a basement, the basement keeps getting bigger. If you're in there's just a box sitting on a table, and you get into the box and they shut the box over your head, you can push open the side and suddenly the box is twice as big. And you can just keep finding new ways to climb into the box, and you never leave the box. But it just keeps getting bigger the further in you go. So thumbs up. So lots of stuff going on, lots of things happening, yay! And when I say lots of stuff, I mean in my head, after all. Not a whole lot I can actually do waiting for this stuff to happen. Of the medical debt that I've had through the Veterans Administration, there is a website that you can go to, a VA website. I signed up for a thing to be considered to have my debt lowered because of my monetary conditions. So, hey, if that works, that'd be better than having to pay it all off. So, I'm going to be doing more walkies because I only walked to Walmart and back this morning so far. I got a lot more to do if I want to keep active, except you only need to have 2.5 hours of moderate exercise per week. You don't need to have it every day. But I also want to burn off calories, so thumbs up. Anyway, if you are one of my Patreon patrons, I still can't put your name up here. It's burning. It's gone from sparkly to burning. So I can't use this for much. But when you look in the mirror, you know you're a beautiful and awesome person. Thumbs up and thank you. For everybody that has left me a comment, thank you. I have tried my best to answer as best I can. That's too many bests there, but still. I have tried to answer as best I can. I can't do much, but thumbs up. Just remember, I appreciate your comments to no end. Yay! So I'm going to edit this, render, upload, go out for my walkies, play. But yeah, I started playing some more. Hey, if you watched this far, Pal World is cool. In the comments, thumbs up and thank you. I started playing some just regular Fallout 3. I have all the DLC for that as well. I got the Game of the Year edition, so I want to do that for the channel once I finish Fallout New Vegas. And the DLC that I'm going to do on that one. And I started playing Power World because I just wanted to check it out. And while I have to really crank, not really, but I crank the detail down and the shadow detail and all the stuff way down. And it doesn't play well on the laptop. It plays well enough, and it's just enough of a collectathon that, yeah, it scratches a neurodivergent itch for me to go on collectathons. I like collectathon games, so thumbs up. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. Not a long one today. I mean, I go into these things thinking I'm going to be lucky if I can fill 30 seconds, and then I look at the clock and it's like, good God almighty. Woof.